Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Wild Tiled West, which is for 1 to 5 players. It takes about 45 to 90 minutes to play, and it's for ages 13 and up. Although you can play with younger people because that's just for regulation purposes. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out our how to play and playthrough video. So we're going to give an overview, then we'll give a rating, and the reasons for a rating. So this is a score the most points game. We're going to be placing polynomials. You're drafting them into the territories, and you can pick different territories here, and in fact these are basic territories, and on the back they even have extra little spaces here, special rules like stolen weapons or lassos. So we haven't played with those yet, but it gives you options, and it does have solo play. Here's where you keep track of the turns and rounds. You'll get income from your mines, so at the very beginning of the game you're only going to get 2 gold, but as it goes up you can get more gold, and it's worth victory points at the end of the game the more you develop your mine. You'll draft on the orange arrows, and this means you get bonus points if you complete towns, and here are the towns that are darker gray here. And then eventually you're going to tussle. When it gets to here, you count how many bandits are in your territory. So we all start with 1, but as you lay down tiles, you can get bigger tiles, or tiles that have better things on it, but it comes with bandits. So whoever has the most bandits will lose 2 points. Whoever has the least will gain 2 points, but whoever has the least will get a hill bandit. So yeah, you're going to get points, but then you're going to get a bandit added to your territory. Now you can remove bandits with sheriffs. Where's a sheriff here? And that's pretty cool option, because as you place it into your territory, if you can line it up in a row or column, the sheriff can take out a bandit with a bullet, and that bullet becomes a tombstone, and tombstones are worth 2 points for every one you place. Because the reason why I didn't say for every bandit that is eliminated, because the bandits can get a hideout and they can eliminate sheriffs. So you have buildings you can put down in your territory. You can wrangle and get your cows, and the larger the area is, the more cows in it. So for instance, if you have 6 cows, it's worth 9 points, and then you'll get a contract here and get 2 extra bullets, which you can use right away if you have sheriffs that can take out bandits, and the next person that completes that would get 1 bullet. You'll see here on the territories you have different spaces. So for instance, you have, this will improve your mine. These spaces block line of sight for the sheriffs if they want to try to take out bandits. But there's also cards. So Julie had a card in the game that she played. If she's able to surround the mines with other tiles, she'll get bonus points at the end of the game. Here are cows, so if you can attach other prairies to this, you can score it, and then you put a boot there to show that you've scored that, because that's part of the tension of the game, is do I keep on adding to an area? So for instance, if I do this, right, well, I can score it right now and score those 3 cows, or I keep on adding to it. But then what if I don't add to it by the end of the game? Then I don't get any points. You want to cover up horseshoes, because those are worth -1 point. If you cover up a bullet, you get a bullet that you can keep or use right away. You're going to use it right away if a sheriff can take out somebody, and you can get gold here. So you're going to, and then on the edges, you can see that that particular town is worth 16 points, but you see how hard it is to cover up. It takes some time. These are the start spaces, and those, you cannot place tiles on the hills, the mines, or on the cows. Buildings have different effects here, and you have a whole bunch of different buildings. White buildings, when you place it, they take effect right away. Yellow buildings, you refer to it as the game progresses. It's usually something that you have to keep track of. So for instance, when you wrangle cows, you gain 1 gold when you score it. Pink buildings, you have to surround it. No, I'm sorry, pink buildings are scored at the end of the game. And red buildings, you have to surround it with other tiles, or using the edge of the board, or mines, or hills, or other cows to surround it, and then you get to take its effect. So the general store, for instance, if you do that one, you either get 2 alleys, which are these squares that can help you fill in things on your board, or you get 2 bullets, or you can move up your mine twice. So you get, at the beginning of the game, you'll get a partner, you get 2 of them, you get to pick one, and this is something you can work towards as the game progresses. So if I have 0 bandits on my board at the end of the game, it's 19 points. If I have 2 to 3, it's only worth 6 points. If I have more than 3, I'm not getting any points whatsoever. So the game will score at the end. You'll get minus points for every horseshoe you don't cover. The pink buildings will score if you meet their conditions. Every tombstone is 2 points. And then if you get tiles with cards, for instance, here's a tile with a yellow card. And if you have a set of 3, that's 6 points. If you have 4 yellow, for instance, that's 12 points. If you have a mix of 3 different colors, it's 6. All 4 colors is 12. And you can, for instance, if you get to Saloon, you can get a card added to your playing area. And that means you got a permanent red card to help you score that. Then your mind scores, and then you get points for any partner. So you play so many rounds here, and you keep track here. And I didn't go over how to draft. You roll the dice. So in a 2-player game, you only play with 2 green dice, a blue die, and another green die. And with more players, you have more dice here. And in a 2-player game, you remove 1 tile from every edge here. So when you're drafting here, you look to the right. If this is empty, you keep on going to the right until you get to this spot. You don't cross over that way. So it's possible that everything could be empty here, and if a 2 is rolled and it's empty, then you advance it to the 3. Here with the river, if there's nothing here, you advance to the next one, but you can spend a gold to skip. So if I didn't want this one, but I wanted this one, I have to spend a gold to skip it, and then it costs me a gold to buy this one. So it cost me 2 gold to get this tile. So you can claim jump, it's called, on the rivers and go down like that. And when somebody gets a tile, that die comes off, and then the other, in this case, Julie would be able to pick from those 2 tiles if I went with this one. And so then you place it on your board, and then you advance it. Like I said here, you keep track, and you keep on playing until the game's over. So
Nice job.
The quick overview. Now we're going to give our rating. Let's see what it is. I said a 9.
Wow, and I said an 8.
Very much enjoy playing.
Yes.
Now, this game does favor those who have visual spatial reasoning.
That's why he rated it a 9.
Well, I do better in these games, and that's not why I like it. In other words, I'm not playing it because I can beat you in it. Okay?
I didn't think so. I was teasing.
No, I'm just pointing out, though, that I like these type of games.
Yeah.
But let's go over the reasons, because there's some games we don't own a ton of polynomial games. We own about 10 of these.
Still a lot.
Yeah, but there's over 200.
Oh.
But there's games with lots of expansions. So, for instance, you got Blockus. That's one of the first ones. Mm-hmm. We love Blockus. I use that in the classroom many days. Often we've sold them at homeschool shows. We used to sell at homeschool shows. We used to sell probably sold a couple hundred.
Wow.
During that time. Yeah.
Wow.
But that there's not much theme to that. It's a pure abstract. We have Barren Park. Foundations of Rome has some polynomials in it because you're placing the buildings. Isle of Cats we like a lot. Patchwork. That game I won't play with you because I dominate too much.
I don't stand a chance in that game.
So, I mean, if you really want to play it, I will, but it's not.
I would never. I don't ever offer to play that game.
We brought up some others too. We looked them up.
We did.
Imhotep has polynomials. Will come to me in a minute, but we do. I tend to avoid polynomial games when it just seems too abstract. When it's thematic like this,
so much more fun.
Isle Cat, you're putting him on a boat. It's kind of a weird idea, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it represents cats of different sizes. Okay. So let's go over our reasons.
Okay.
So for me, it's a solid polynomial tile laying, score the most points game with objectives. I should have said drafting. Should have included that mechanic. So it's thematically fun with meaningful options.
True.
So what that means, the options is sometimes Julie's going to take a die I really wanted to use, or a die is going to come up that, how can I make this work to my best, to my advantage? And one thing you can do, if you watch the How to Play and Playthrough, towards the end of the game I didn't have any gold. So there was tiles I could have gotten if I could have paid for them. So you can take the option of placing 2 alleys, but they have to go adjacent to each other. So I took the alley option
a lot.
3 times in that game. So they've accounted for that. And then deciding if you're going to move up your mining track, or are you going to wrangle, score that now. It's just fun. You feel like you're in a wild, wild west.
You do.
So it's average to quality components. So what's quality is the wood pieces, the gold. The cardboard is average thickness. It's not the most thick. If I can get this in. So it's not the thickest. And then
There you go.
these are very thick.
Yeah.
And we live in a dry climate, and these are not warping. So they did a good job of making this. I mean, look how thick that is. So that's
Yeah.
quality. The cards are average card stock. They're not, as I say, linen finish. In other words, they don't have a foil stamp on it. So they're average. So, and these tiles are thin, but you can't really make them too thick with it when you have this many boards.
Oh,
Then it would
yeah.
increase the cost of the game too much.
These tiles are pretty good too, honey. Like
they're
those?
average thickness.
Average? Oh,
Compared to
okay.
other games, they're average thickness.
Oh,
Like, for
okay.
instance, this is the same thickness. So the mining board is the same.
Oh, yes.
Okay. There are some games that would be double that thickness.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, like, for instance, right here, the scoreboard is I think it's the same thickness.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why I said average.
Okay.
But it's not a negative.
No.
The art is decent. Now, here's the thing. You can get a little tired of seeing anamorphic animals,
No.
but I get why they did that, because they can get dinged for lack of or over-representation. So by making them... So when you have people constantly attacking companies for representation, this is why they go... Not saying that they got attacked, but it happens nowadays, that's why they went with anamorphic animals.
Yep.
To avoid any controversy. So it's easy to learn, teach, and play. The rule book is decent. There's not too many buried rules, but even then, I can find it easily because they do bullet points and the headings make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So the most annoying thing is cleanup,
Oh, yeah.
putting away the tiles, and it was annoying filling them in the first time. So that's a negative there. It does lack player aids, though. So if you are not used to playing games like this, you're gonna have to pass this around if you don't have a good working memory or short-term memory, because it does list the turn order here, which you do. But if you're experiencing these games, it's easy to remember. But that's something they should have included, because this is a family weight hobby game. For families that are used to playing Carcassonne and Ticket to Ride, this is perfect for them. If they can handle those games, they can handle this game. If they can handle Pandemic, they can handle this.
Yeah.
However, it would be useful if they had player aids. And so it's reasonable playing time. We can do this game in less than 40 minutes now. And it's optional territory boards and solo play. So it's nice to know that when we get sick of playing the basic boards,
We can flip it over.
we can flip it over and play the other ones. And I can see them coming out with more expansions too.
Yeah, I'm excited. It gives a lot of replayability. And
Just like Clank.
yeah.
Clank is a game we love from them.
Yep. I love Clank.
All right, so here's Julie's.
Okay.
reasons.
Well, as you guys know, I do like the mom version of this. It's a super fun tile laying game, and it has dice. So I just had to get this. I like that the different player mats add to the replayability. And like David said, you could flip them over later on, and you have new things to choose from. So there's a lot of game here. I found it easy to learn and play, and I had the advantage of learning this at one of the cons.
When we went to Gamma, you learned it.
Gamma. I learned it at Gamma, and the guy was awesome. Taught like 5 of us how to play. And when David came and found me, I'm like, we got to get this game. This game is awesome. And I do not do well with these kind of tile laying.
When you want us to play through, sometimes Julie gets a little bit of analysis paralysis. She's trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I struggle with these shapes and trying to fit them, but it was just so much fun because, as David said, the theme is so cool. And the sheriff, being a University of Arizona Wildcat, he reminds me of Wilbur the Wildcat. So I was like, oh, I'm so in. I'm so
Well,
in.
mentioning that's part of the fun, is that when you do get a sheriff here, like, oh, can I put him in a way where I can take out this bandit? And even if I do put him in a way, do I have a bullet to take him out, or I can get one later? So that's kind of a fun little conflict thing there, taking out bandits.
It is, and what I wanted to mention, which I forgot to write down, is, David said putting things away is a kind of a bear, and it is. But what's nice is if you take these off, there's pictures of what goes there. So it makes it a lot easier to match up the tiles to their homes. So Yeah.
So there you go.
And I think that's all I had to say.
Yeah, so this is part of our, again, I see a lot of games that come out with polynomials, and I'm like, oh, not another game with polynomials. But we put this on our must-buy list for Gen Con, because it came out at Gen Con, even though we saw it at Gamma.
At Gamma.
Because
Okay.
Gamma was in March, and Gen Con's in August.
Right.
And so we haven't had a chance to do a video on it until now, and
Yeah.
for me, I don't give many 9s or 10s. It's an 8s,
No, you don't.
8s are rare too, but I know that as long as Julie wants to play this, that's why it will stay a 9. Now, if Julie didn't, because Julie hasn't won it yet, but if it was a situation where Julie got so frustrated and didn't want to play, it probably wouldn't be a 9 for me.
No.
Because I'd be like, yeah, I love playing the game, but I won't have anybody to play it with.
Because it would drop
often.
way down for me, but I love it because it's just, first of all, David's extremely patient with me, and he does help me figure out, because my brain just doesn't quite get it, but I do a lot of it all on my own, and it's just such a good game to make my brain work. So that's one thing. And plus, I love the little animals, and it's fun. It just really is
I understand
fun.
why they did animals, okay? Because, like I said, if they based it on real people in the West,
I wouldn't have as much fun.
no, they could make a more meaner version, and you could have, Butch
Cassidy
Billy
and
the
stuff.
Kid, no,
Yeah.
Billy the Kid, and things like that, and
Yeah.
Doc Holliday and stuff like that. But then you get into issues of representation, like I said.
But
so
I
see why
like
they
the
did it.
animals more. I don't know. For me, it makes it just a little less intimidating because the animals are on there. I don't know. Don't ask me why
No,
I
I
feel
think
that
it's
way.
fine.
But
Like I said, I can see why they did it. So when you keep on attacking people for either making things too historically accurate or not historically accurate enough, this is why they use animals.
yeah.
All right, well, thanks for watching.
Hope you guys had fun with this video, and please check out our How to Play and Playthrough, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.